Holy, you guys don't slow down, do you? Like, if I had a nickel for every time my video based on a popular indie game blew up, I'd have 2 nickels. Which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice, right? Well, it looks like it's time to return to the inky depths of Bendy and the Ink Machine. Except this time, instead of focusing on the Dark Revival, we're going to be tackling the OG game. I present to you set number 71040, the Bendy and the Ink Machine CMF Series. The set includes 12 characters from the original game, with a few exceptions from the Dark Revival. So, with all that said, let's go through these figures, starting with... Thanks to the Dark Revival, we finally know what Henry looks like. I still remember watching Dako's video and seeing the face reveal. My jaw straight up dropped to the floor. Henry would use dual molded legs with some printing for his inky boots, with some simple arm printing for his sleeves. This along with an alternate expression and a dog strainer hairpiece. Finally, for his accessory, he would have his axe. It would be the official piece with some printing to give it its iconic look, making for a great representation of the absolute Chad that is Henry Stein. Next up, we have the creator who lied, Joey Drew. Or I guess he's like Joey Drew's memory or something. I don't know, man. Go ask Matthew Patrick. Just like Henry, Joey would have dual molded legs with some printing for his fancy pants. His arm printing would be a little more detailed, with dual molded arms and even a watch. He would have an alternate expression and a left sweep hairpiece. Then for his accessory, he would have the illusion of living. It would use the book piece with a 2x1 flat tile on the inside. Even if the head looks pretty weird, I'm still really proud of the final figure. This goofy little man has to be one of my favorite Bendy characters. He would have dual molded legs with printing for his overall. This along with a new head mold to give him that Boris look. It's similar to Goofy's but modified to have his ears standing up. Then for my favorite part of the figure, his accessory. I gave him a 1x1 cylinder piece with printing to represent the bacon soup, making for probably one of the best figures I made for the series. Up next is my favorite character in the entire franchise, Allison Angel. Why is she my favorite character? So hear me out. This fallen angel would use normal legs with some printing for her shoes. Instead of printing on the dress, I decided to give her the skirt piece from the troll sets. Just gives the figure more detail. She would use dual molded arms to represent her sleeves, as well as an alternate expression. There wasn't an existing hairpiece that fit Alice, so I created a new one with dual molded horns. Lastly, for her accessory, I gave her the existing Tommy gun piece since in the end, I think I did a great job bringing Alice to life in Lego form. Since we're talking about angels, next up we have Allison, or Good Alice as I like to call her. She shares a lot of characteristics with my Alice figure as they're technically the same character. She would also use printed legs, a troll skirt piece, and dual molded arms. This along with an alternate expression and a new dual molded hairpiece with horns, with her accessory being the official katana piece. Even if this was an easy figure to make, I'm proud of the outcome. Tom is very similar, if not the same as Boris, with a few minor differences. He would also use some dual molded legs, but with some ink stains printed onto the overalls. He would reuse the same head mold as Boris, but with an angrier expression as I feel it represents Tom better. Then for his accessory, he would reuse the gen pipe piece from my Bendy accessory pack. Even if he's just a reprint, I'm still proud on how he came out looking. This is what I meant by a few exceptions from the Dark Revival. Betty was supposed to be in the original video, but I ran out of time to make her, so I decided to put her here instead. She would have dual molded legs with some printing for her skirt. Now, Betty has a very unique hair, so I had to make a new hairpiece to faithfully recreate her style. For her accessories, she would have a 2x1 flat towel with printing to represent the Find a Gilson note from the end half of the game. Don't have anything else to say about this, I just really like the way the figure looks. I honestly forgot about this guy until I was reminded by one of you guys in the comments. He's just kinda boring, I guess. I mostly remember him as the guy you can shoot in chapter 3. Norman over here would use normal legs with some printing for his inky bits and real fragments, with some simple arm printing representing the same thing. Then there's the head mold, which looks simple at first but has a cool gimmick. His eye projector thingy would be made out of the glow-in-the-dark material, allowing for the projector to glow. A pretty simple figure, but I feel like the glowing eye adds some nice detail to it. Now for a more interesting character, up next we have Sammy Lawrence. Still kinda disappointed he was only brought back as a quick joke. Sammy would use dual molded legs with some printing for his inky pants. Instead of making a new head mold, I made this mask piece that attaches via the stud in the head. Underneath there would be a blank head as you normally can't see it. Then for his accessory, I gave him his banjo. I don't have access to the official piece, so I made this brick build one using a pole piece and a 2x2 flat circle with a clip. Great figure, definitely easier to make than I initially thought. For a simpler figure, next up we have a lost one. I like to think of this figure as the army builder of the set. We see a lot of them during the game, so it makes sense to have a bunch of them. They would use normal legs with printing for the inky details they have, with some simple arm printing representing the same thing. For their accessory, they would come with a 1x1 flat stud with printing representing the slot coin you can use to buy consumables.
Ooh, coffee? Wait, 15 slots? 15? What, 15? Wow!
This might be a really simple figure, but I had a super fun time making and designing it. Now for someone you've all probably been waiting for, the little devil darling himself, Bendy. At first, I thought they only made him for merchandise, but to my surprise, he was in the game. Still, look at this goofy little man. Who wouldn't want a marketable plushie of him that costs more than the actual game? No offense, you twos. I still love you. Bendy would use mid-legs with printing for his suit, as he's a lot shorter than the other characters. He would have a new head mold for his more cartoony face, and the gem card he cutely helps us find as his accessory. At the end of the day, I think I was able to recreate his character really well. We have arrived at the last character, the Ink Demon. I decided to go with the original idea I had and gave him the woody arms and legs with some printing for his inky details. He would reuse the same head mold for my Dark Revival Ink Demon, as it's pretty much perfect as it is. You know what they say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Finally, for his accessory, he would have a 2x2 flat circle with printing to represent the only thing that can stop him, the end. Even if that reel took forever, I'm proud of how he came out looking. Well, there you go. That's all 12 characters from Bendy and the Ink Machine that I was able to turn into LEGO minifigures. If you enjoyed today's video, please consider axing that subscribe button and leaving a like, as it helps out the channel a lot. While you're down there, tell me if you'd like to see more Bendy content. If so, what would you want me to make? As always, have a great day, and remember to stay awesome and creative. See ya! And hey, if you're interested in indie horror, consider checking out the videos listed on screen right now. On your left, you can find my original Bendy video based on the Dark Revival. If you're more of an animatronic fan though, on the right you can find my FNAF video based on the original trilogy. As always, take care, and I'll see you fellow LEGO enjoyers next time.